Yo, yo, yo. Want to welcome everybody to episode 5 of the Coach Quill podcast. We got a very special guest today, my guy, KG. Kendall Gray. What's
What's
good, my
good, Quill? What's going on with you?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much, man. Before we get started, I just want to, give a good shout out to one of our sponsors for today's show. So if you ever in the Delaware, Philly, Jersey area and need a cut, hit my guy Eben up, hottest barber around. He does travel cuts and all, located in 4th East 7th Street, Wilmington, Delaware. His number is 302-290-3700, and his Instagram is at Eben Jr. So hit him up. So that's our first commercial. I had to pay them bills first.
Pay them
Big
bills, good
time.
shout outs.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? We're getting sponsors now. I'm moving up. But so what's up
It's
with you,
lit.
my guy?
Shit, I'm out in Atlanta, man. Just trying to make things happen. Waiting
Right,
for a call to go over that water. Everything a little
right,
messed
right.
up right now, due to Corona, but staying ready for whatever's about to happen.
And that's all you could do, man. Let's hop right
That's it.
into it. So what age did you start playing basketball?
I want to say I started taking it serious around like I want to say like 12.
Mm,
Probably started middle school. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't. I just played because my homies was playing. You know what I mean?
right,
Keep it honest. And then I started falling in love with the game.
right.
Middle school kind of was. Just that player that was just playing, bro. Like didn't
But
have wasn't thinking about if I'm gonna play professionally, if I'm gonna play college or nothing. Just having fun with my homies. And by the time high school came around, I was still about 5'10" my freshman year.
mm,
Then, as the years started going, I started growing and my love for the game and my skills started, evolve with me. So I'm like, damn, this shit could take me places. So,
right.
I started dedicating my time to my craft and, just the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't the first thing I wanted to do, you know what I'm saying? I was just had the opportunity and, like I said, my height caught up with my skill. You know what I'm saying? So
What did you want to do at first? Oh,
I didn't know, as any
okay.
kid, like you don't know what the hell you want to do,
Right.
growing up. You know what I'm saying? So I just basketball.
Right.
I was a Lakers fan.
Okay.
Shaq, Kobe,
Shout out to the
RP Kobe.
guys.
Yeah, I see you wearing it. You know what I mean? Shaq,
Shout out to
Kobe.
the guys.
Yeah,
Right.
Magic was one of my favorite players growing up. Like, and then Kobe.
Right.
That's the legend himself, without being said. So,
Right.
just
So
just being in that atmosphere, bro.
so what middle school did you go to?
I went to Dover Air. I was a
Okay.
base kid,
Okay.
Dover Air Force Base Middle. So by the time I was traveling around with my parents because they was in the military, I was traveling around up until second grade.
Yeah.
Second grade. That's why I kind of stationed myself in Delaware.
Researching you, I just realized that you was born in California originally.
Yeah, Merced, California, man. Like
Merced,
I said,
California. So like you wasn't born in Delaware, you was raised in Delaware. What so you said your father was in the military and then
yeah, both my parents were in the military. My father was
okay.
in it long, so he was first sergeant. Started off in California, moved over to Mississippi, then
Mm,
Texas, and then Delaware around second grade. I've been here
okay.
ever since. So
So you do you remember anything from them other states? Like living in other states or not really?
I remember like sort of kind of it was hot as hell in Texas. I remember
Right.
that.
Right.
As far as Mississippi, you hear a lot of stories about Mississippi. So,
Right, 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 right.
I ain't even gonna get into all that right now, but you hear a
Right.
lot of stories about Mississippi, the culture and, the people themselves. But
Okay.
yeah, it was a tough adjustment at first, just keep moving and moving, not having no stationary spots. So that's why I call Delaware home.
Right. So you moved to Dover in middle school. Was anybody else on that team? Like, did y'all have a basketball team there, or was anybody
Yeah,
else
yeah. We
notable on
had
that team?
my man Kenny Roberts, man, like best
Mm,
friend, He was just sniper. Like he
right.
been shooting from 40 since I can remember. Like,
Right.
Kenny Roberts, he also played at Polytech with me too, point guard.
Okay.
But that was my man. We was
Right.
we was getting it in.
Now, like you said, for high school, you decided to go to Polytech. Was that your first choice, or was there any other schools that you was consider high schools you was
I,
considering
w-
going to?
I was gonna go to CR,
Hmm.
but my mom was just like, nah, you can't go to CR. Like, you just can't. You know, that's
Right,
right by the crib. She was like, you can't go to CR. So I'm like, all right, what about Dover? She's like, hell no, you ain't going to Dover either. So,
right.
you know, she was just like, you know, you're gonna get accepted in the Polytech and that's where you're gonna go. So I'm like,
Mm.
shit. At 14 years old, what you gonna say to your mom?
Right, right, right.
You go to Poly. So that's how that happened.
Now, I feel like you started like a little legacy at Polytech. I know y'all didn't, win a championship, but like y'all had a crazy run of
We had
talent.
a mob. We had a mob, Quill.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, we had a
y'all
couldn't put it
had
together.
Aunt Mosley brother. I can't even think of his name right now.
James. Yeah,
James.
James.
He gonna cuss me out for this. James, you, Aunt Miles, and Eric
Miles.
Laster.
Eric
Like,
last, but we could take it before that. We
huh?
had we had Isaiah Strand, we had, you know what I mean, we had Quentin Thomas, we had Brandon Legree. Um, you know what I'm saying? We had a mob. Our starting lineup was like 6'3" and up. Like our
Sheesh.
point guard was like 6 foot, but everybody else was like 6'3" and up. And I came off the bench. You know what
Whoa.
I'm saying?
That was your freshman
Yeah.
year?
That was my junior year.
Okay.
My junior year. I came off the bench, 6 man. So it was
Okay.
just like I came off at 6'7".
Damn.
So it was crazy. We just couldn't put it together. You know what I'm saying? We had all the time, we just couldn't put it together.
What was your freshman and sophomore year like? Like what was your
Started from the bottom, man. From I played freshman basketball.
mm,
Like I said, I wasn't the most talented. I didn't have the most height. Then I started catching my height started catching up with my age.
right.
I was 5'10" my freshman year.
Mm,
Sophomore year come to play, I'm about 6'3". So everybody
right.
like, damn, where this nigga come from? Like, you know
Right,
what I
right,
mean? He
right, right,
growing and
right, right.
everything. Like, yo, where he come from? So I go to about 6'3" my sophomore year. And, you know, I played JV after that too. Like, played JV. So I took all the steps. And then junior year, I grew to about 6'6". And it was
Mm,
just like, we're going to, varsity. Like,
right.
this your time. So that's when my name started, getting around Delaware. Like, oh, we got this six guy from Poly, defensive player, block shots, do all that, can jump a little bit. And then, senior year, I was just like, this gonna be my my year. You know what I'm
Now,
saying?
was you on that team that went to the Bob with James
Never
and
went to the Bob.
oh, you never went to the Bob. Okay.
We always lost to Tatnall, Mark Medley, um,
Ooh. Ooh.
Perillo.
Perillo
You
was
know what I mean?
nasty. Perillo
we
was
lost to
nasty on that block.
we
And he wasn't even
we
a basketball player, he was a football player.
we lost to them 2 years in a row, bro. So we couldn't, you know what I'm saying? We
Right.
couldn't even do it. We couldn't get past them. That was our block right there. We couldn't get past them.
Right. And what year did you graduate?
I graduated 2010.
2010. So that was the
Yeah,
year Dover.
Dover,
You would have probably took them over the top if you would have went to Dover because that's when they had Will, Corey Crawford, Big Peter.
Big Pete. You know what I'm saying? It was
They
crazy. It was crazy because they beat us 3 times, bro. It's
beat y'all
hard
three
for a team
times that year.
3 times because we had a 6 man squad that they was ruthless. They didn't care about nothing. Like, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? So they didn't care about anything. So they was
Right.
talking to Corey Crawford directly.
Right.
Corey lit us up all 3 games. So, like, 25 plus all 3 games.
People sleep on Corey Crawford. He's like I always say, it's a lot of D2 or NIAA players that didn't play D1. He to me, he always was like a D1 skill set. He just was in a situation to show off his talents to get to a D1 offer because that he could hoop. Corey Crawford could hoop.
We wanted him to come with us to Dell State. Keep it
Right,
100. After that year, he went to prep school.
right,
Went to prep school. They ended up going to a D2 after the prep year. We wanted him to come to Dell State with us. He just decided, create his own path, get out of Delaware, which I ain't mad at him.
right.
That's that's my man, so I ain't mad at him, but he doing well for himself.
Now, did you play AU with anybody? Like, who did you play AU with?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. I started off, like I said, I slowly started getting onto the scene around junior year, but I was playing here and there with sharpshooters. I don't know if
With
you remember the
Burley, right?
sharpshooter with Burrows, but he was above me. You know, he a year
Yeah,
or so older than me, so
yeah,
he was above me in a different age group.
right.
But you know, I was just playing here and there. I ain't know nothing. I still don't remember. They be talking about all these big names that we played against. I still don't remember that, dog. Like,
Because
yeah.
Burley used
So
to always say it was you, him, and what's my man name? I want to say it went to Xavier, Isaiah Fillmore.
Fillmore,
Woo, Fillmore.
Fillmore. But yeah, like I said, it was in a you know, other age bracket. I was with the
Mm,
younger team, you know, probably like the B team or the whole
right,
sharpshooters.
right.
And then I ended up playing with Takeover, one of my last years, Team Takeover out of Delaware. You know, we had
Okay,
T Bob, you know, Alex Hackett,
okay.
B Bob, you know, the
Yeah,
Bob Jones brothers. We
the,
got Ryan Knowles, all them like
the whole Del Castle crew. You
Gerald
had
Castle
X
crew.
Cooper.
Yeah, we had X too.
Yo, X used to have
X
bounce.
was nice.
X
X was
was
nice
nice,
for a minute.
yo.
X was nice for real.
Yeah, that was a crazy group. Your class is underrated class. So your senior year, a lot of people don't know this, but you average a triple double. You average 15 points, 12 rebounds, 11 blocks. I,
Yeah.
I don't I don't know nobody else who averages a triple double in Delaware. Did you know that? Like, was you
I kind
getting
of I let me start off by saying this. Focus on your grades. Anybody that's watching this, focus on your grades. Stay committed to your grades, man, because that hindered me in the long run. Like I
mm,
said, I'm 5'10" freshman. I ain't really care about basketball, so therefore I didn't really care about school like that. You know what I'm
right?
saying? So it was just like, you know, I was just going through the motions in school, and by the time I was a junior and senior, I could have had any offer in America. But you know, I didn't take care of my business my first couple years of
Mm,
high school. So you know, I had a slow start. I had to sit out a year, going to red shirt at Dell State. You know, my parents had to pay for school out of pocket that first year, and it was just like that was on me though, because they was just like I had coaches calling. You know, I had everything, but as soon as they found out my grades, couldn't do nothing with me.
do you
It was
remember what
either go
schools was calling you?
as far as like the mid majors. I had George Mason.
Mm,
What's the school out of Florida? Not South Florida, but Central Florida.
mm,
I had a lot of mid major schools, but if I would have had took care of my stuff and you know
right.
handled my business my first couple years, I think I could have went anywhere, bro. Like be honest with you,
Yeah.
anywhere. You know, but you know they're not looking for guys like that. In Delaware, you know, you gotta be either stand out and have your grades. Like so, it's got to be both. You can't do one or the other. You know, it's got to be both. That's the only way you're gonna get attention coming out of Delaware.
That's a fact, and it's unfortunately a lot of our players, especially from our state, always got to go, either red shirt, JUCO, or prep because they wait till their senior year to get their grades straight, and then it's like their GPAs messed up.
It's like we're not prepared for it. You know, and
Right,
then once we get to a high level or a mid major, it's kind of like we got to take steps, slow steps there because we wasn't prepared for it coming into it. Like we was not prepared for it. So that's why I say everybody, you know, just you got a dream, you know, make sure you take care of it early. Like make
right.
sure you handle your business because you know that could be taken away from you quickly.
So you decide to go to Dell State. What factored in that decision? What made you and was there any other colleges that you was thinking of considering going to?
Um, I want to say I just went to Dell State, man, because coach came to my crib, Coach Jackson.
Um,
He came to my crib and was just like, "Yo, you need to come here," straight like that. He was just like, "You need to come here. You know, I ain't gonna force you to come here, but you need to come here." Like, so I was just like, "All right." He the only guy that really took this time out, you know, to come to my crib out
right,
of all coaches, you know, knowing my situation. So he came to my crib, and you know, of course, I've been familiar around Dell State my whole life, like
right.
so I know about Dell State. You know, I was like HBCU, and I just ran with it. I had like I said, I had to sit out my first year, and then ended up signing that April of the following year.
Mm.
So that was that was it with that, bro.
Now you end up going to Dell State, not only the hometown HBCU team, but you went there with a lot of other Delawareans too. So you went there with Tyshawn Bell, Caesar Rodney alum, uh,
Legend,
Ken K. Will, Dover alum, class
legend,
2010, and my guy Charles Burley, class
Burroughs.
2009, Burroughs. So what was that like? Um, going to the hometown school and playing with another, other hometown
I ain't even
players.
gotta tell you that, dog. You know it was lit. You was at the games. You know it was lit. You
That
come to Dell State, it's a party. You come to a Dell State game, it's a party, and we gonna put on a show for y'all. Like that was our senior year. That was our pretty much our motto. We gonna make some noise. Like we
right.
had we had Mir. You know how he was giving it up.
Mm,
Mir May.
Mir May was a
He
bucket.
was dropping 40 and 50 balls. Like and we had Tyshawn. He was out of Caesar Rodney.
He
You know,
was
he
a
was kind of limited. He was kind of limited in his role, but he could do everything. But he was a sharpshooter, like sniper.
I always
Burrow,
felt like y'all was like the most talented team, but y'all just like couldn't get it together at a time. Like y'all had the best guards, y'all had the best bigs, and y'all had the most talent. Yeah, it was
yeah.
athletic.
It took us an adjustment. Our first few years there, like it took us an adjustment. We had to have like a change in culture. You know,
Right.
coaching change.
Mm,
By the time we was seniors, he let us rock out. So
right.
when we rocked out, we was just running up and down, and that's when stats got inflated.
Right.
We was doing everything. We was balling. We was having fun with it. Our first few years, we wasn't having fun with it, and then we just started. We just gonna go out how we want to go out. This our senior year. We're gonna do it how we do it, and of course, throughout that time, you're gonna have these miscues. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna always be together, but we made it to the championship round. Unfortunately, we didn't. Hampton took it.
Right.
Kudos to them, but we should have won that. Let me be real with you.
And I forgot to mention, you also had Jason Owens and Ty Hughes for they cussed me out. They the other Delaware natives too that was on the team. But like, I just remember like that. It was always bigger than basketball when I went to go see y'all play. Like it was like like you said, it was a show. And like it's good now that they have it on ESPN and all these NBA players are acknowledging and like, what does it mean for you to like when you hear people like Chris Paul, LeBron James supporting HBCUs and knowing that you went to a HBCU and played basketball at a high
And
level?
it means a lot because we deserve that exposure. As
Right,
far as HBCUs, we have talent coming through here. Historical black colleges. If nobody knows about it, you know what I mean. If historical black colleges, we need that exposure. We have so many talented African American players, just black players that just had to take a step back. Most of these stories that come from HBCUs is kids that could have went higher D1, but something happened. It's like a JUCO for actually Division 1. Like what I mean. It's like
right.
you had to make something happen. So to have that exposure and to bring kids like what's Mature Maker.
Yeah, yeah.
He at Howard now, 5-star
5-star
prospect,
recruit.
5-star prospect. So we need that. Just imagine if Zion went to SC State instead of Duke. You know what I'm saying? Like we'd be all over the TV. We need that. As far as coming being black athletes, we need that.
What do you think need to do to be able to get more 5-star and top recruits to go to their schools? Like what needs to be done? Like what's
I
the
think it's
disconnect?
I think it's pretty evident now, man. You see all the stuff going on in the world, these cops killing black people. I think you see all that now, and you see how most of these schools really don't give a damn about you. The high D1s, you know, it's a lot of people even at the high level that haven't even spoke up about the issue of social injustice and stuff like that. So it's like, would you rather go there or come to
Mm.
a HBCU and and be a family? Because got some people in the administration office that I can call family. You know, my auntie, like she works as far as the basketball and operations. You know, I can still call some teachers up if I needed to. You know, it's a family atmosphere, and that's what people need to realize. Like, once you leave college, you just don't leave college. You connected to them. So,
Right.
you know, I think HBCUs is prevalent in the world today just because of all the shit we got going on.
Now, Dell State has a big rivalry with my, one of my close friends and my sister's alumni, which is UD. Talk about y'all rivalry with UD
I
and what that
love
means for the
playing
state.
UD, bro. I loved you playing UD. I love playing the boys. Like
Right,
it's like because they thought they was just so much better than us.
right,
They really thought like nothing personal, but we gonna go at y'all too. Like we gonna go at y'all too, man. It ain't
right,
nothing just cause y'all 45 minutes up the road. You know, you're a higher Division 1. I mean, you're still mid-major, but you're at a higher Division 1 level than we are. You know, as far as MEAC sports, but
right.
we took it personal every time we played them. We just took it personal. They had some dogs on their team too. You know that
Facts,
that that run that they had. You
facts.
know when they played Michigan State, they had Jarvis, they had
Mm-hmm.
Devon,
Mm-hmm.
Usher. You know what I'm saying? Like they had some guys that could go, and I respect them.
My senior year, because my boy's senior year, his name Will Townsville. He played with Burley at Glasgow. 2013, y'all snuck and y'all beat them at the Bob. And I remember that.
Yeah,
Tyshawn Bell played out of his mind. He was hitting corner threes.
for sure.
Will
Yeah,
Burley played good. Like y'all literally snuck that game because they always thought they could always beat y'all at the Bob. And I know that game meant a lot to you because that was probably your first time playing at the Bob. And it was
I
like,
think I think we ended up going 2-2 with them.
okay,
My
your four
senior year, I
years.
know we went. I know we beat them at the Bob, and I know we beat them at our crib. But you know, we 2-2 with them. Like, you know,
Yeah.
what I mean, I had a little debate with Champ on Twitter.
Oh,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? You know what I mean?
I
We
was
was
at
going
that
at it a
game.
little. Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? We was going at it a little bit. You know, talking through Twitter and stuff like that. Just
Right.
recently, like you know, he was
Right.
just saying like, you know, we couldn't really beat them. But I'm like, yo, we got y'all twice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Because they had,
we
I
got
don't think he was there the first time y'all beat him at UD,
man.
but he was there that second time when y'all beat him at Dell State. Because that's when they had Corey Holden. And Corey Holden, he was
Corey was
getting,
nice.
Corey was
Corey was
nice.
nice.
He ended up
Corey was nice.
leaving, but he was getting to a buck.
Corey was nice. He was nice. Hey, UD has some talent though.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie with that. UD has some talent, but we was gonna go at him.
Now your senior year, y'all had a crazy. First of all, your junior and your senior year, y'all had a crazy out of conference schedule. Y'all played at Oklahoma State versus Marcus Smart, NBA. I think your senior year, y'all went at Hawaii, played against another Delaware player, Isaac Fleming.
Isaac, yeah.
And then y'all played at Iona. I was at that game, and AJ went off. AJ
It
went
was. It
off.
wasn't AJ though. It wasn't
it,
AJ. It was the
it,
young boy, the freshman. He went off for
yes,
40.
yes.
He went
Cashmere. He
Cash.
did have 40. AJ still had
Yeah,
25 because he was mad
yeah.
because they didn't let the game be scheduled in Delaware. They wanted to schedule the game in New York. He wanted the game
But
to be
it.
played at Dover.
Oh yeah, but yeah, they did us. And it wasn't even like we wasn't going back at them. We still had like 90 something.
Yeah,
They
that
just
was
had
a.
like one. You know what
They
I mean?
had
They
like
beat us
what
by
20.
They beat us by 50. They was just striking, bro. I'm telling you, it's not like we was going at them, but they was just they couldn't miss that day. You
Right.
know, they had David Lowry. You know, he was like
Mm-hmm.
what they call it, the Carl Malone
Yep.
finalist, one of them winners. Like
Yep.
they had some dudes on their squad. We just it was one of them snowy days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying just we didn't have it.
What was it like playing against Marcus Smart?
He is what they say he is. He's a dog. Like it
You
don't
feel,
matter the competition. He's a dog. Like
right.
he's gonna go right at you. We had guards, but he was Marcus Smart. Like he's top four of the draft, top five pick of the draft for a reason. So
I think he had
yeah,
like 30 something that night too, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know what he had, but that shit was a blur. Like we was just getting our ass beat all game. Like couldn't do nothing about it. Like they had some dudes on their squad. I think we was on a highlight top 10 play. We was getting dunked on. Like he was
Oh,
getting all types of shit. So
oh no.
it was
Talk
crazy.
about Hawaii. What was it like actually going to Hawaii? Because Hawaii, people forget that's part of the United States. It's like you almost traveling out the country. But what was it like going to Hawaii and experiencing that?
That was my first time to Hawaii. I loved it, man. Like it was just, as far as just being out on the beach, the sand. I'm sure Isaac can attest to this. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know what happened on the basketball side, but as far as like, just being it's Hawaii, bro. Like, I
right.
mean, but as far as playing them, like they lit too, dog. Like,
Yeah,
I like they gym. I like
yeah,
their arena. I just like they whole athletic side of it.
right,
The colors was fly. Like they was
right.
just they was tough. They was tough, bro.
Yeah, that was. I actually watched that game. But I'm gonna definitely get Isaac on the show because I can only imagine what it was like being like going to school there and playing there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was kind of by himself, so it was like I
Yeah,
can understand. I can understand like the stuff on the basketball side of it, like
right.
made making him transfer to different school and stuff like that because he was by himself out all the way out Hawaii. I can understand, just being a
Now,
professional.
now your senior year, you had a crazy game, like one of the last games of the regular season. You had a 30-30 game in against Coppin State. Um, and I think Amir may drop 40 that same game. So shout out to him. But we'll talk about that game and like what was the vibe like after the game and
First, first, let me say this: we wasn't even supposed to play the game. It was
oh
snowing. It was snowing. Od.
okay
Snowing OD. And you know what I mean? They had shut the whole campus down. We were supposed to go back to the crib, but then it was just like we already here. We might as well play. So it really was. I could count probably like 20 people in the stands. Not even 20. Maybe like
mm,
15 people in the stands, including
oh
like
man
it was a cheerleaders, and then Coppin had their players, but we weren't supposed to play the game. It was our last. As far as the seniors went by, me, Burley, K. Will, Mir, and Bell. Like it was our last official conference game, like before the tournament started. So we was
right
just like, we're gonna go out here and just do what we do. And it started off crazy because the first half I think I had like 12 and 12. So I was just like, I always told myself I'm gonna get 30 rebounds. I'm gonna
mm,
get 30 rebounds. Like since I entered college, I seen Kyle Quinn.
mm,
I always told Kyle he was player of the year and defensive player of the year my freshman year. So I'm like, I know I can be like this dude. Like I told myself I was gonna get player of the year and defensive player of the year and just have 30 rebounds. And it was crazy. Like I said, 12 and 12 at the first half. Then I guess I could say granted to thanks to my teammates, we was missing some shots. So it's
right
like we was missing a lot of shots for me to get 30 rebounds. We was missing some shots, but I can't. It was my teammates and my coaches that just let me go, man. I just felt like I was in another zone, a zone that I'm trying to tap back into. I mean,
right
that was another zone.
right and that I think that was a down year for Coppin State too because I think that was the year after they lost Tyreek Cephas and all of them like they
No, he
had
was still there. He was there.
Tyreek was
That's
still
my
there.
senior year. Yeah, Cephas was still
Oh
there.
man, I ain't go. I probably that's probably the reason why I ain't go because it was snowing. Because I probably would have made that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It was we wasn't even supposed to have a game.
mm,
It was just one of them. God put that game in our hands. It was just like this is what was it.
right,
Soon as Bear dropped 40, I had the double double. All Sports Center like was hitting us up and shit
right,
like that. It was crazy. Like
right.
yeah, I ain't I ain't think it was gonna happen like that. But it was crazy.
Was when once you hit Sports Center, was the vibe like was people coming up to you on campus or like I know your Twitter and
So
social media was going crazy, but like
yeah, social media.
what was like the vibe on campus? Was people running up to you?
Nah, it was regular days on campus. 'Cause I don't even think too many people really knew about it. I think like honestly, as far as like the campus, Dell State, they party school. They ain't really
Right.
tripping off like, they ain't real party school.
Facts.
So they ain't really like, unless I was on campus and did that, like they wasn't really,
Right.
attentive to that. But, I started getting interviews from, you know, like I said, ESPN, local reporters, just
Right.
interviews after interview. It was crazy, dog. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it was crazy.
So was that the game K Will got hurt afterwards?
Nah,
Or
K Will went down when we played in the tournament.
okay.
We needed K. We needed K. He was our vocal
Facts.
leader. He was our energizer bunny. Like he
Yeah,
just
he don't
didn't
get tired.
stop. He just didn't stop. And he was always vocal. We needed that because we just didn't have it. We started off hot, that championship game, but he
Hmm.
wasn't there to kind of keep us going, keep us fluid.
Now, like you said, you ended your senior year. You got defensive player of the year and player of the year for the MEAC conference. First player to do that since Kyle O'Quinn, and who's in the NBA now. What did that mean to you, and what was your feelings like after you accepted those awards?
It meant a lot. Like just take it back to when I was in middle school.
Mm,
Nobody knew about me. Nobody gave a damn about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then to go to high school, first couple years, nobody still really knew about me. Nobody gave a damn about me. So, it goes to show that you put your mind to something and you practice and you work at it, you can do anything. It just and that's how I took it. I was just grateful for that because I just know what I've been through and know how nobody really gave me the opportunity. So that means that award specifically just means a lot to me because I came from nowhere to putting Dell State on the map. It's like
right.
Dell State, they always had, pieces here and there, throughout the years. But we honestly, as a team, that year we put us on the map because we was playing everybody. We beat Wake Forest. Um, we was playing everybody. We put up a good run against Arkansas,
Mm,
and that's where they had Bobby Portis and
yep.
a couple other guys. But we made everything competitive except a few games. Iona,
Right.
example. We
Right.
made games competitive, and we showed them who we were. You know,
And I believe the same day that you won that article was produced with your brother, who was in his senior year of high school, who was playing a championship game versus Sally's with Dante DiVincenzo. What did that
he
mean for you and your family when you seen that article? You and your brother side by side, pretty much y'all both playing it. You playing a championship game for the MEAC, your brother playing a championship game for Delaware.
it was crazy. It was crazy because my family had to make a decision. Were they gonna come out to Virginia for our game, for our conference championship game, or was they gonna stay for Juwan? So it was just like my mom. They had to make some sacrifices. It was crazy. My pops and my grandparents, my aunt, they stayed for Juwan's game, and my mom she drove out to come to my game. So it was the ultimate sacrifice. But just knowing that we were both playing in the championship the same day, it was just, and then we both lost. We was just like, damn, like, like, damn, how we both lose, like.
Oh man.
But that's something that's gonna fuel us every time we step on the court. It's just we should have got one. We should have got a ring.
Right.
And I know even for Juwan, like that meant a lot to him because Polytech was never that school to get over. It was always the up north schools. You know what I'm saying? It was always the up north schools. So for Polytech to make that jump, and that was my old school, I was proud as hell. I was
Right.
proud as win or loss. I was proud of them.
Right.
Yeah. So
Now, I always say, you, your brother, Jordan Allen, his brother, and people like Kevin Larkin, y'all are like the face of downstate basketball to me. What's the knock on downstate basketball, and why is it always like a up north first downstate type of stigma thing?
That's a great question. That's honestly a great question. I don't know what it was. It just like I said, we was only 45 minutes down the road.
Right. Right.
Including that's from Dover to Wilmington area. But as far as the lower Sussex, I don't know what it was. It was just like we always felt like we could compete, but it was just something just holding us back. Where it was just we couldn't figure it out against the up north teams. It was just always something we couldn't figure it out against the up north teams. And of course, y'all by Philly, so it's like some chances y'all people from Philly can come check y'all out and stuff like y'all closer.
Right.
But I don't know. I can't get into all that one. I just don't
Right.
understand. I
I
don't
will
understand.
say Smyrna broke the curse when they won the championship, even though they, had a 7 foot African. I ain't gonna, what I mean, we ain't gonna get into that today, but I always felt like the good downstate players always was never afraid to go up north to play or other places to play. Like anytime I
Nah, we was
ever see you,
never afraid.
right,
We was never
you will
scared.
always come.
Yeah, but we just couldn't get it together though. We just could never
Right,
win. We could
right.
never win that. And like you said, Smyrna broke through. I remember back in the day it was Seaford. They was
Mm,
nice. Andre Matthews, shout out to him. Like they was
facts.
legends. Like we got some legends down in the lower Delaware.
And y'all got
That
legend. It's legends at Cape too. Tracy Reynolds, Kyle White. Um, like Cape has some
Kyle
ballers.
White, K
Yeah,
Passing. Yeah,
people
yeah,
forget
they
about
was
Kyle
nice.
White. He went to Dell
Kyle
State.
White.
He went to
Yeah,
Dell
Kyle White
State.
was nice. He still got bounced. Like it's crazy. He still
Yeah,
got bounced. Yeah, it's wild, man. Just seeing all that, like the evolution from now. Let me ask you a question.
go
How
ahead.
you how you feel about basketball in Delaware now? Like,
Honestly, it's it's part of the reason why I made this show because it's kind of getting. I would say it's trending downward. In the sense that as far as we're not keeping our own players in our state. So for the class of 2022, the number one player in the nation is from Newcastle, Delaware. His name is Jalen Duran, but he
Jalen
never
Duran.
played a high school game in Delaware. Like everybody thinks he's from Philly. He went to Roman Catholic and he just transferred to Montverde. Um, really besides Bones and he's like a one-off. Dante and AJ and Trevor, those was like our last of our stars, and it's hard for us to keep them. Like it's almost like if you don't go to Sanford, you're irrelevant. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah, nah, I get that
and
for
it's
sure.
a combination of the DIAA and coaching, and I just think we just need to come together to make it more, not necessarily all about athletics. It definitely got to be about academics too, but like we got to be able to. It's no way we should have host a slam dunk to the beach tournament, and the worst teams that are in the tournament are from Delaware. We
Yeah,
gotta be more competitive, yo. That's
yeah,
embarrassing,
facts.
yo. Nobody wants
That's
to come
facts.
to see the Delaware teams play a slam dunk to the beach. Like,
Nah, that's facts. That's facts, man. Yeah, just shout out to Bones too, man. I don't know him like that, but I just know his story, and I know he's doing it. Like all that's fuel, man. That's the type of player I like, man. Just
right,
you know what I mean. Just that fuel, that motivation, and he's doing it his way.
right.
Boy, be rapping and everything. Like he doing it his way. Like
Facts.
shout out to him, man. He's one of them guys that I respect, young boys that I respect, man. Just in this game.
I'll make sure he get that message. Yeah, I know he appreciate it. Now, um, you after Dell State, you played professionally. You had a couple tours overseas, and you actually played in the G League. Talk about that for a little bit. What was that like?
Man, I got a actually I got a book that I wrote, a children's book. I
Mhm.
can't I can't quit, man. It's out now, and it pretty much sums up my story from when I was a young boy to pretty much now.
Wow.
Um, Went out to Germany, After I didn't get picked in the draft and stuff like that, played for the Pistons Summer League, went out to Germany, was out there preseason, tear my calf muscle.
Mm.
Sat me down, sent me home. Was recovering off that. The next year I had an opportunity to play in Poland. Get to Poland, preseason again, tear my opposite calf muscle. So this is my first 2 years out of college. So after that, I'm like, man, fuck this basketball shit, bro.
Right.
Like, keep it real. Like, I'm like, damn, like, didn't get hurt in college except for my first year where I had to get surgery. Didn't get hurt in college, and now my first 2 years out of college getting hurt back to back. So
Right.
I'm like, damn. But something told me, I'm like, I got a little brother like that plays basketball, and I'm like, if he sees me quit, that's gonna make it easier for him to quit. You know what I mean?
Mm.
As just as a role model and a big brother, I couldn't do that to myself. So I rehabbed. Even in that process, like rehab, I was a substitute teacher,
Mm.
and at a middle school. Them little niggas like my fault, my language,
Nah, you good.
my
You
language,
good. I
excuse
know
my
how I
language.
get, bro. I worked at the
But
Boys and Girls Club. I know how I get, bro.
but them little dudes. So you tell them like, yeah, I played professional basketball. They like, man, you don't play no ball. Like you working in here with us. Like you a bum. Like so I'm like, I'm trying to get over
Yo.
that hump, but that humbled me a lot. Like that humbled me a lot.
Yo.
Just seeing them, just seeing the kids and where they
Right.
come from and then their circumstances. But playing to the next couple years, I overcame that. Went to a G League tryout and made the G League. Not a tryout, but my agent was just like, we want you to go to training camp, see if you make training camp, and then go from there. So I ended up making the training camp, ended up making the team, and that was probably my funnest year playing basketball after them 2 years where I was down and out.
Mm.
So that brought back that fun to the game. And then, of course, being around Brooklyn, going to the Brooklyn facilities,
Right.
the Barclays, seeing
Right.
the NBA guys, you know what I'm saying? Just being around them, that makes it even seem like you that much closer to being in the NBA.
Right.
That's your dream. And, just playing there for the year. And then the next year, the half year, that I played there was rocky. I didn't even get the chance to really suit up like that,
Mm.
but that wasn't up to me. Then I had to get surgery. So, that's three surgeries.
Right. Now,
That's three surgeries.
who notable? I think Isaiah Whitehead for sure, but who else played on the G League with you?
Theo Pinson.
Mm-hmm.
I played with guys like Theo Pinson, couple draft picks. Milton Doyle, he out of Chicago.
Mm.
Taj McCall, he got a couple 10-day contracts. Wimbush, probably the Thomas Wimbush, probably the nastiest player I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Right.
I mean, he just waiting on that opportunity right now for him to be in the NBA because we call him 2K.
Right.
You know what I mean? He played like he in 2K. Like,
Right. It's funny you say that because I always say like I seen a lot of G League games and I watch it on TV just because I know people that's playing in it and I just like basketball. But like I always say a lot of them G League players is one attribute away or one badge away from being in the NBA. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
It's just like they got the height, they got the skill. It's just like they missing that one thing that's gonna make them an NBA player. And some people that don't know basketball, they be like, oh, sit back and say, oh, this guy's a bum. Like Trey Duvall will kill anybody that you
Trey
put in
Nice.
front of him in an open gym. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's just
It's
like the NBA
NBA.
different.
NBA is all situations. It's
Mm-hmm.
all situations and what can you do for a team on a consistent level?
Right.
Because you're not gonna play that much. You're not KD. You're not Bron. You
Right.
know what I mean? So what you gonna? You're not Westbrook. So what you gonna bring to the NBA team if they feel comfortable and confident enough that they'll put you out there for 3 minutes and you won't fuck up, like,
Right.
or they put you out there for 20 minutes and you won't fuck up. So it's like you got to be great in your role, and you just gotta thrive in that.
Right.
You can't have the ego like, damn, I should be playing more. You in the NBA now. no boys allowed. Like, you
Right.
in the NBA, you in the NBA, you're getting paid millions of dollars to do what you're supposed to do. So that's where people can't really, make the difference because they can't comprehend that. Be like, damn, I'm supposed to be going up here doing what I'm supposed like what I know I can do. Nah, you can't do that. You got to
Right.
prove that you can do that.
Now, what's something about the G League that like a lot of people don't know about? Like, where do you like stay at during the G League? I know in certain situations they provide housing for some of them and stuff like that, or sometimes you may have to find your own and transportation. What is that like playing in the G League?
Long Island, they took care of us as far as facilities, housing. We stayed at like an extended stay. They came and cleaned our room every day for us. You know what I'm saying? They really show love. But I done
Okay.
heard different experiences where they staying in staying in some bullshit. You know what I mean? They can't don't know what to eat, getting PB and J's and shit. Like I heard that. I done heard that story too. So it's like I can't really speak for them, but I know as far as Long Island, the Nets organization, they took care
Right.
of us. That was, playing in Nassau Coliseum. That's where Dr. J played. Dr.
Right.
J came to my first game.
Mm.
It was crazy. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it was like they took care of us on that aspect, and they just made sure we was good as far as athletically. Trainers. We had elite trainers.
Right.
They just took care of us.
How often did y'all see or play with NBA players?
We would go up there probably like our schedule was pretty hectic. We played 50 games. We ain't like the NBA where we private jets and stuff like that. We play right here one day, play the next day, but commercial flights, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but I would say probably like 3 or 4 times, maybe out the month, we'll go up to the Brooklyn facility. They whole practice gym was crazy. They sitting on the sky rise
Mm.
practicing. You got to go up like 10 floors, 10 to
Mm.
12 floors to go up and practice. But it was dope, man. They would let us eat with them,
Right.
like they had the chefs and everything before practice. You could have breakfast before, then after practice you would have the lunch. Like it was crazy. Like I'm like, man, we this close. Like we
Right.
this close.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, what was your like welcome to the G League moment? Like, what was like one of them moments where it was like, oh, okay, all right, this ain't college no more.
Welcome to the G League. I would say my welcome to professionally.
Mm.
My professional moment. I'll never forget this, bro. I'm at the Pistons Summer League.
Mm-hmm.
We having practice. First of all, I'm like trying to catch up because I ain't learned that much shit in college. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, like as far as
Right.
plays and stuff
Right.
like that,
Right.
I ain't learned that
Right.
much stuff. So I'm trying to catch up. So we playing 5-on-5. This is kind of my introduction to being a professional. Quincy Miller
Mm.
dunked on my ass bad, like
Ooh. Out of Baylor,
dunked
right?
on out of Baylor, dunked on me
Mm.
bad, and I'm like, damn, like that was my that was my welcome, like 'cause everybody like, damn, this is like he came from Dell State,
Right.
get dunked. I'm probably pretty sure they didn't even trip off that, but that was my welcoming
Right.
to being. But as far as like the G League, um, I didn't really feel outmatched. I didn't feel outmatched.
Right.
Um, I just came in there. I did what of course, over time. I'm 28 now. I've evolved my game from the past couple years ago, but I didn't feel outmatched. I feel like I can hold my own out there. And
Mm.
knowing me, I'm not scared of nobody. I don't
Right.
care where you came from or what you did. I'm not scared of nobody. So you got to show me. Show me something.
Right. Now, being though you a big man, what's one thing that you would like encourage other, taller players that's like 6'7", 6'8" to work on their game, knowing that sometimes they try to put you in that box or stigma. Oh, don't bring the ball up, don't shoot threes, just sit in the paint and block shots. Like, what would you say to young players out there now to help develop their game to get them ready for that next level?
Just just be fundamentally sound. That's big. You see guys like Luka Doncic. You know what I mean? 6'8" point guard, not fast, can't jump, but he gonna get you a bucket. So you gotta be because he's so fundamentally sound. So I would encourage everybody. be fundamentally sound, because you know athleticism that's gonna run out at some point in your career. But what can you do when you're not athletic again? So it's like just work on your game in all aspects. You want to be a shooter, be a shooter, but you know you gotta put up 1,000 shots a day. You gotta have reps. You want to be a 6'11" point guard, be a 6'11" point guard. But you know you got to work on your handles every day. Like you can be
Right.
whatever you want.
Right.
You can be whatever you want as far as you know the player you want to be. You just know you got to put in the work for it.
So the last segment of our show is called the Coach Quill Top 10 Questions. So I'm gonna ask you questions you can just answer them the best you can. So what's your career high?
Career high 33.
Okay, and that was the 30
33.
and 30 game.
Yeah, 33.
All right, what's your favorite hoop sneaker?
Kobe.
Kobe's.
Love the Kobe. Any type of Kobe, I love Kobe's.
Okay.
They just transform you into that player. Like
Right. Right. Get your Mamba mentality right.
yeah, get you right.
I know who's your favorite artist to listen to before a game? Music artist.
Um, I'm gonna say I listen to Michael Jackson damn near every day, bro. So like
Okay.
before games, I'll switch it up. Like that's just
Right.
you know I can listen to him because I just know like the work he put into his music.
Facts.
So you know that gives me more like you got to work for everything. And I just listen to him like you can hear everything,
Right.
hear all the work he put in. So just Mike.
Um, who was your favorite player growing up?
I was I was a Magic Johnson fan just off the fact that he could do everything.
Right.
But my favorite player was Kobe Bryant, just because he Kobe. He just he Kobe, Black Mamba. He could do everything, and
Exactly.
then he's a killer. Like, well, he gonna take your heart.
And who's this? Probably one of my favorite questions. Who's the most underrated player you play with?
Underrated. Um, underrated. That's a great question. You stumped me on that one, my dog. I play with so many players that got a chip on their shoulder though, so it's like
Facts.
I play with a lot of players. I can't even pinpoint one because everybody that I play with got a chip on their shoulder and deserve a
That's a
shot.
fact. I'm a little biased, but I always say whatchamacallit never got his chance to really shine at Dell State, and that's Burley. Burley, growing up with Burley, I knew he was a dog, and like I didn't play as much in high school because he was the starting point guard, but I respected him so much because every practice he was talking crazy. He came in and go hard. He wasn't scared of nobody, but like he just
Nah,
never. He was a different player at Dell State. Even at Cecil, he was killing. At Cecil
yeah,
Community College.
yeah, he was just a different player. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it was just Burley. You always knew Burley for the You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yup. Yep.
layup, talking shit, like talking
Yep.
crazy. So you always knew Burley for that. So he still brought that to us every day. You know, he was
Right.
gonna get in your ear. Like
Right.
we didn't battled a couple times, cussing me out, I'm cussing him out. Like it was all love. But you know, like I said, not as far as him getting a fair shot, it was at any championship level, somebody gotta take a sacrifice. Like so,
Facts.
we was right there on that championship pedestal, but
Yep.
it is what it is.
Now, who's one of the best defenders that you played against?
Best defenders. Uh, my man Taj McCall, like
Mm,
he got a call up with Brooklyn as far as like a Pat Beverly type defender, and he like 6'5" with it. So he's like
right.
the point guard. He went to Tennessee State. I
Right.
think he was defensive player of the year over there. But his hands is crazy. He's just smart. Like he went. I think they was playing one his first little call up. He got to the Wizards. He was
Mm-hmm.
playing against the Wizards. He had to guard Bradley Bill.
Mm,
Like the last couple minutes, he made sure he didn't get nothing. Like
right. Now, what's the most somebody scored on you?
Probably not much, bro. I'm gonna be probably no more than like 20.
You're a defensive player, so you take pride in that. You take pride
Yeah, I
in that.
take pride in that. If somebody doing me dirty, like I wouldn't be able to sleep. So
Right.
I take super pride. That's what I'm known for, defensive. You
Right.
know,
Now, what's the like most best team that you what's the best or most talented team that you played on at any level? It could be, professionally, college, high school, AU. What was one team where he was like, yo, this team stacked?
this team stat. Um, I would just say college, man. Those are my guys. I roll with them guys, man. They roll with me.
Right.
So it's, as far as talent wise, like I feel like we could have
Right.
beat anybody in the country just because we had players at every position that could give you what you want.
Mm.
You know, so it's like that was my most memorable, and them guys that I ride with, 20 years down the line, I'm like, we made this happen.
All right. And what age was your first dunk?
I want to say probably like 16,
Oh,
15,
okay.
16.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I hit a growth spurt in my second year
Right.
high school. So it was just like I started dunking, came out of nowhere, 15. I'll say 15.
All right. And last question. What advice would you give to our younger generation to get where you at?
Don't ever give up. Like, don't quit. You know, like I said, my book, I can't quit. Like that's my motto. You can't quit.
Right.
You know, it's gonna be people trying to tell you what you can't do. It's gonna be people trying to, discourage you all the time. But you gotta be mentally tough, mentally stronger, and you gotta work for everything that you get. Like you're
Right.
not gonna get handed out, especially coming from like where we come from, Delaware.
Facts.
You're not gonna get nothing. So you gotta work. Everything is gonna happen without work, and have faith, and you're gonna be good. Trust me.
Shout out to the your book. Where can people get your book at?
My website, you can go to my gram, Kendall Gray _1.
Mm-hmm.
The link is in the bio. You can go to cagebooks.com, KAGE books.com. And I just want to show the book is just it's self-explanatory. Anybody that get the
Right.
message, it can be a children's book, but for anybody that understands the message that you can't give up no matter what, go ahead,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead,
appreciate
keep
that. That's
choosing
big
it.
time, man. Your own book. I'm gonna definitely support and give me a copy for sure. Well, I appreciate you taking time and opportunity to come on my show today,
Appreciate
podcast
you
with
having me.
us. Um, and thank you for taking your time out. It's always a pleasure talking to you, my guy. And shout out to your brother too. I gotta get him on the show because he definitely, is a big part of your life, and I can see how much you impacted his. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? With
for
with
sure.
with his development. So I gotta get your brother. Y'all always show love.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Just I appreciate you having me, bro.
No problem, bro. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
All right, cool.
All right.